Did Rachel Reeves just expose Labour's biggest weakness on live TV? While boasting about a tiny 0.1% growth, she failed to explain how her party would actually fix the economy. No real numbers. No clear plans. Just empty words. In this video, we break down her most revealing interview yet, and show why her leadership could be Labour's biggest problem. Stay with us, because what you're about to see might change how you view the opposition entirely.
Of health doing. I want money spent on the front line, not on bureaucracy.
How many civil servants are you going to get rid of?
Well, what we've done is not a civil servant target, but an admin target. So that also targets consultancy spend, for example.
How many people are going to lose their jobs?
Well, it will be up for every department to set out those plans. But I would rather have people working on the front line in our schools and our hospitals and our police, rather than in back office jobs. So this isn't just about...
No, but you have to be straight with people. How many civil servants are going to lose their jobs in broad...
They're doing.
You voted against it.
Look at their universal credit. You know, they have had to write off already £90 million worth of expending.
I'm not on the rights and the wrongs. I'm trying to work out what you voted for at the moment. We'll come on to some of these issues.
Well, some of the things... going to go further than the government. So, for example, cutting benefits for young people who don't sign up for training. The government haven't introduced that. For example, saying that the richest pensioners shouldn't get winter fuel allowance. That's something that the government haven't signed up to.
I'm not asking you for, 532 or 5,027, but broadly speaking, is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? Is it 15,000?
We've said 10 to 15%, 15% by the end of the Parliament, reduction in admin budgets. In admin budgets. So that includes consultancy, it includes travel budgets, it includes communications budgets. So it doesn't all have to be about people. But when we make those savings...
It's going to be about people. And when you can't say this is going to be painful.
The growth numbers have come in higher than many expected, but I'm still not satisfied with the level of growth that our economy is achieving, and that's why I am determined to go further and faster in delivering the economic growth and the improvements in living standards that our country deserves.
You say the growth figures are higher than expected, but your government promised Britain it would be the fastest growing country in the G7. 6 months in, and we're barely just growing.
A sustained increase in living standards. I don't know about you, but everyone I know and I see is skint. They're living month to month, struggling to keep their head above water, and are feeling the squeeze more than ever before. Well, then she says this about the national living wage.
Next month, at the beginning of April, people on the national living wage will see a 6.7% increase in their wages, £1,400 more a year. That's only possible because of the stability that we have returned to the economy.
Oh dear. So where does the Chancellor think this rise in wages will go? What will it pay for? Because the cost of living is up, the cost of energy is up, despite Labour's pledge to reduce bills by £300 a year.
Today's figures are a bit of a failure, aren't they? Especially when you consider GDP per head has gone down.
It's not possible to turn around more than a decades of poor economic performance in just a few months. But we are doing what is necessary to bring stability back to the economy, reforming the economy, the planning system, regulation and pensions, to encourage investment in our economy, which is the lifeblood of a successful economy.
This is from David Thomas. Why don't we hear any politician, Jezza, simply say that no immigrant, legal or illegal, should be able to access any benefits or welfare when our own people are struggling? That would surely stop the boats, reduce all immigration and ultimately reduce the cost to the British taxpayer. Why are we obsessed with helping other people when our own people are suffering? Graham Stewart.
Well, it's a very good question. Of course, we should put our own people first and people who've paid in. That's what I hear from my constituents when I have a street surgery in the town of Heddon on Saturday. Exactly what people say week in, week out. Look after our own first. Do right by the rest of the world. We're not a mean country, but somehow there's a sense, as I think you've already alluded to, Jeremy, that we've tipped it over the other way.
NHS England, and we will continue to use that to make sure there hasn't been a zero-based review of government spending since 2007.
I was asking about departmental budgets.
Yes, so we've asked every department to rank their spending from the most important to the least important.
So you haven't said, give us a picture of a 5% cut or 11% cut. You simply The zero-based budgeting is a whole different exercise.
Well, we've asked them to rank every line of their expenditure from the most important, so you can see what the top 1%, the top 2%, and indeed the least important, 1%, 5% and 20% of spending.
But what's really important, Andrew...
No, excuse me, I'm asking a question. What's the cut in the capital gains tax?
They've cut the capital gains tax. They did that. They did that as part of the coalition government.
No,
they
raised the capital gains tax in the coalition government.
Well, what I'm saying, Andrew, and
what you're saying is wrong. They raised the capital gains tax to 28%.
What I'm saying,
and then we will ask departments, well, with a budget, would you rather spend more on your priorities, or would you rather continue the budgets as they are today? Because I think it is really important that we evaluate everything that we do, because in the end, this is the money of ordinary working people and ordinary businesses, and it hasn't been evaluated since 2007.
Being free.
No, but what I am saying is it will deliver better public services, because I would rather we had people employed by the NHS working in our hospitals rather than in a government department. So this is about doing things differently and putting money where people see it most. During COVID,
Chancellor, this is what people say about politicians. I ask you a question that says, broadly speaking, how many roles are going to get lost? I cannot believe that you're telling your colleagues we need to take 10% out without any idea how many of those are going to be actual jobs. I just cannot believe that that's what you're doing.
I'm confident that we can reduce civil service numbers by 10.
Let's be honest, what we all just watched was not the performance of a leader ready to take charge of Britain's economy. Rachel Reeves had a golden opportunity, live on national television, to prove Labour has what it takes to steer the country out of economic hardship. And what did we get instead? A flurry of vague statements, recycled soundbites, and the kind of political doublespeak that leaves you wondering if they even know what they stand for anymore. Now, let's cut through the noise. Reeves bragged about a 0.1% growth in the economy. Yes, you heard that right. 0.1%. She said it with pride, as if that sliver of improvement was some grand milestone worth celebrating. But let's ask the obvious. Do you feel that growth in your wallet? Are your energy bills going down? Is your weekly shop cheaper? Is life getting any easier? Of course not. Because that 0.1% doesn't change a thing for the millions of Brits living paycheck to paycheck. It's an illusion, a distraction, a clever way of pretending progress is being made, when in truth, the country is still stuck in the mud. So, what did she actually say? Not much that makes any real difference to you. When pressed for details, how many civil servant jobs will be cut, what concrete reforms are coming, where real savings will be made, Reeves danced around the questions like a career politician dodging landmines. We'll let departments decide. It's not about people. We're reviewing admin budgets. Blah, blah, blah. But we're not fools. We know that cutting 10 to 15% in admin budgets means jobs will go. Real people. Real livelihoods. And yet Reeves couldn't give a number. Not even a ballpark figure. Why? Because either she doesn't know, or worse, she knows, but she doesn't want you to know. And that's the most dangerous kind of leadership, the one that hides behind polished language and refuses to be transparent. Let's talk about credibility. This wasn't just about poor performance. This was about exposing Labour's hollow core. When you peel back the surface of their economic promises, you find nothing. No detailed proposals. No bold vision. Just a long list of what they won't do, and a vague hope that maybe, somehow, things will improve. Reeves repeatedly talked about stability. But let's get real, what stability is she referring to? Wages are stagnant, inflation is eroding your savings, and councils across the country are slashing services while raising taxes. That's not stability. That's decline. And if Labour's answer to all this is to smile on camera and celebrate a 0.1% growth, then it's no wonder voters are losing faith in all political parties. Are we seriously being asked to believe this is our future Chancellor of the Exchequer? Where are the bold ideas? Where's the courage to make tough decisions? Where's the honesty? Because right now, what we're seeing isn't leadership. It's theatre. It's a performance crafted for the cameras, not for the people. And Andrew Neil saw right through it. His questioning was relentless, and rightly so. He did what every voter wishes they could do, demand real answers. And what did Reeves give him? Deflection after deflection. No substance. No clarity. Just spin. She said she wants to put more money on the front lines. In schools, in hospitals, in policing. Sounds great, doesn't it? But where's the plan? Where are the numbers? Where's the accountability? Talking about priorities is easy. Delivering on them is another matter entirely. So here's the question we all need to ask. If Labour can't even explain their own economic plan while in opposition, how on earth are they going to implement one in government? Because let's be crystal clear, this wasn't just a poor interview. It was a warning sign. A flashing red light. A glimpse into the kind of leadership Labour is preparing to offer, vague, unaccountable, and completely out of touch with the people they claim to represent. They talk about growing the economy, raising living standards, and restoring hope. But what we just saw from Rachel Reeves tells a very different story. A story of a party that's better at criticizing than creating. Better at talking than doing. Better at politics than progress. And now, it's over to you. Are you satisfied with what you just heard from Labour's top economic mind? Do you feel reassured? Confident? Inspired? Or are you left with more questions than answers? This video wasn't just another political interview. It was a moment of truth. A test. And if you felt frustrated watching Reeves wriggle away from every tough question, you're not alone. Millions of Britons are sick of politicians who talk about change, but never deliver it. Now more than ever, we need bold leadership. We need honesty. We need a plan. But as long as Labour's most senior voices continue to offer nothing but vague reassurances and hollow figures, they will keep losing the trust of the very people they claim to fight for. If you're tired of empty words and want to see real solutions, share this video. Keep the pressure on. Let's demand better. Because Britain deserves more than a party that talks a good game but refuses to play it.